Since apparently I'm on a time limit, we'll make this short and sweet. As of right now, it is almost 11 p.m. It is January the 5th. Tomorrow is the 6th. Tomorrow is the day the Electoral College votes get counted. Now, whether you're on the right or the left, I may offend you what I'm about to say, but oh well, somebody's got to say it. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm a constitutionalist. And no, that does not, and that means a small government, and we should be back to the constitutional republic we once were. And no, that does not involve putting people in chains. That is immoral, and it should have never happened. We should have abolished that as soon as we got here. But well, we can't alter what happened in the past. We can only alter what happened forward. Now, moving on. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, whether we get a 10-day audit, and it's just going to kick the can down the road, and kick the can down the road to another day. But either way, I personally think that tomorrow, no matter what happens, half this country is going to be pissed off. And I'm going to say I do not think that getting violent and getting upset and burning down buildings and businesses is going to fix that problem. Now, there are still constitutional and legal ways to fix this, and that is the first way I would ask that anybody would look at this. And make no mistake, the mainstream media that's been feeding you the propaganda for the last 4 years now is banking on it. They're banking on one side or the other losing their minds and going nuts. Only difference is, one side goes nuts, they're considered terrorists. The other side goes nuts. No matter what they do, they get a pass. They're considered freedom fighters. Keep that in mind. And now, personally, I think that whether you want to admit it or not, there is evidence that this election was not the safest and fairest election ever in American history. There is evidence, whether you want to admit it or you don't. And come tomorrow, you're going to see it, because as I understand, we have a 2-hour window to present it all to the American people on live TV, and no local government or judge can stop it. So finally, after being badgered, after all the bullshit over the last 2 months, well, it's okay, maybe, I guess you could say 2 months. No, about a month. After all that, we're finally going to get, the Trump team is going to finally get their day to present all the evidence. They have kept it secret. They have kept it close to the chest. Now, I'm going to say this to the Trump team. If you want to win this, it's time to stop playing checkers and start playing chess. Okay? It's time to present this. It's time to, and now granted, if you watched all the hearings in each state, because I did, every state that had a hearing, I watched it. There was evidence presented at that hearing. Over almost 200 sworn witnesses under affidavits, which, believe it or not, is evidence in the court of law in the United States. That's more than enough. Now, we'll say this: if we request a 10-day audit and the Democrats immediately shoot it down and say no, they're not going to do it, that it would be a waste of time and just another way to circumvent democracy, that should tell you everything you need to know. Because if this election was legal, and if it was in fact the safest and most secure ever in American history, what do they have to hide? Even if it truly was, then that 10-day audit would be done. The exact same result would happen. They would meet maybe on the 18th, certify the vote, and then on the 20th, Joe Biden would get elected. If they shoot this down, they're not telling you the truth. They're lying to you. Just something to think about.